Hey Infinite, this is Rachel here. Today's topic is going to be loss and how that loss can affect you in a positive way or a negative way. So when you see me, I will only and can only speak on my own personal experiences because these are the shoes that I walk in on an everyday basis. I can't speak on anyone else because I don't walk in their shoes. So my prayer is that my testimony can be a blessing to someone else. So let's begin. Loss. I have lost two children. My first child, my firstborn, she passed away at 10 years old. My second loss was 10 years or so after that with my very last child. Both of these children was girls. My first loss put me into a depression state that I honestly had no idea that I was in until I lost my second child. The Black community in whole will tell you you don't have time to grieve, you don't have time to sit, you don't have time to mourn because you got other things to do. You got children. You have a whole life to live. So therefore, you have to get up, put on your fucking shoes and your fucking dress, and you gotta keep it moving. And that is the biggest mistake I think anyone can do. Grieving, hurt, pain, disappointment, regret, loss are things that one should not harbor, are things that one should not let go, are not things that one should hold because it eats you and it tears you up. With my first daughter, my anger was towards God. My faith did not permit me to express this anger towards God because when you are grown up in the church, and when I say in the church, I mean like every day of the week, you're in the church. You're doing something in the church. Don't let it be Easter. Don't let it be Christmas and New Year's. You know, you're in the church every day. And when you don't take the time to study this faith that you were born in, that you was raised in, that you have been conditioned to believe and understand and hold as facts and truth, we all heard the saying, we don't question God. It's a sin to question God. So my anger was towards God because how can you and how could you and why would you take my child away from me? Why would you do that when I prayed so hard? And you know the reason why I had my child was because of lack of love, was because of the rape that I have experienced and how vicious it was. And who else was going to love me other than me having a child? Because children love their parents unconditionally. Um, and so I felt I needed that unconditional love. So I gave birth to this awesome, awesome, awesome little girl. who was absolutely amazing and looked at me in a way that I have never been looked at before. That loved me in a way that I've never been loved before. And caused me to be different. And then here she go. You take that from me? You're not supposed to do that according to the Bible, right? God don't take life. That's what they say, right? That's what the Bible say. That's what they say the Bible say, right? Because every time we go to church, the pastor gives us a scripture, he reads it, and then he preaches, right? And what he is actually preaching, as far as we understand, is what it actually means, right? Cool. So we take that. This is what it means. So this is what we must do. This is how we shall act. However, losing my daughter caused me to have an anger towards God, and the fear was questioning him, and the consequences that I was told would come from that question, and the audacity to question him. In return, I also had 2 other children at the time of her death. And my next oldest child at that time was absolutely bewildered to where his words were, "Mom, you and my sister left and only you returned. You can't leave because you might not come back." As a mother, what do you do? You're like, okay, maybe we should go to counseling. So we go to counseling, and my son didn't want to talk. It actually made him more angry because he felt as though I was pushing him to do something that he didn't want to do. So it caused me not to work because of the fear that my son had that I would not come back. And because of that, I became withdrawn from society as a whole. Because my son needed me and my other child at the time was young, so she wasn't able to really, it didn't have an effect on her. But the oldest one, that it was, he was 6 at the time. It had such a profound effect to where I had to withdraw just to be the parent that I was told I needed to be. I needed to be the parent that didn't cry it out, that didn't take the time to grieve, that didn't take the time to mourn, which in return caused me not to be able to. Alright, so I didn't take the time to grieve, mourn. I didn't go through the proper steps. I didn't do any of that. I just continued to be a mother. And I developed a method of forgetting. So what I did was, this method of forgetting caused me to forget. No matter what it was, I forgot. I did not want to discuss it. I did not want no parts of it when it came to the loss of my daughter. I did not put a headstone on my daughter grave. Still don't have one. Which is why this video is here today, because I have to deal. So that the whole thing that caused me to digress and go into the home and retreat from society and the world and life as it is what's now causing me to come out and branch out. My understanding through prayer and meditation is that there's two very important days in your life. And I know most of y'all will say, yep, the day you're born and then the day that you die. Well, you would be correct with the day that you're born. Because the day that you die would not be the correct answer. Because why? There's nothing else left to be done once you're dead. Whatever's done is done. The second most important day would be the day that you realize your purpose. And again, through prayer and meditation and actually the loss of my second child, each day has brought me closer and closer to that purpose. And with the death of my second child, that caused me to gain an understanding that you were, and I was depressed. I bet you are really depressed. You don't do your hair. You don't get dressed. You work from home. You even brought harm to your own children. And how did you do that? Through fear of that loss. The fear of losing another one before I lost another one caused me to hold my children in the most hostage type of form. No, you can't go outside. No, I'm not outside. Nope. Nope, you can't go over to so-and-so's house. No, I hate flies, y'all. Nope, you can't do that either. No, I don't want you going to the movies with so-and-so. I don't know their mother. I don't know their father. I don't even know this kid. I don't know what they're about. So, loss is a very bad trickle-down effect. And I am legit reaping what I have sowed with my children, with myself, and with the God that I believe in. During my process of trying to remotely heal from the loss of my first child, trying to do it the best way that I can, other than what I was being told by others. You know, I was doing it in private because I didn't want to be ridiculed. Oh, you're not being a good mother because you're seeking help for your mental condition. Because loss is a mental condition. It's definitely a part of mental health. Seeking any sort of professional help for any sort of ailment when it comes to your mind and your emotions, it's not very big within the Black community. Alright guys, sorry for that brief pause. Every time you see a pause, it's because the people that are working on my yard is constantly knocking on my door. Also, I want to try to look at you, but due to the position of my camera, so I really want to give you guys one-on-one eye contact, but it's really weird because my eyes are drawn to the picture or the screen that is right here in front of me compared to looking up here and giving you direct contact. So forgive me for that. So where I was with mental health and how mental health is really, really shunned upon in the Black community. So a lot of times we have to sit and figure things out on our own. And if we're not strong enough, a lot of us fail dramatically. and I failed dramatically. I failed utterly and completely, not only for myself, but for my children as well. And that is something I don't know if I will be able to even forgive myself for, because that was never my intentions. Um, so I stated that I found myself trying to do things secretly, and I ended up in this Lutheran church one Sunday. And the Lutheran faith is kind of like Catholic, the way their services are performed. It's like Catholic church. And this particular day that I went just happened to be the first Sunday. And we all know what the first Sunday is: communion, right? And we all know that taking communion, you have to be clean and clear and free. And my heart was not clean and clear and free. So I did not partake in communion. And me not partaking in communion and being a fresh face or new face inside that particular church caught the eye of the priests, because they are called priests. Um, so at the end of service, again, they're very much like Catholic. When you foul out, the priests are at the door, greeting, shaking your hand, and you're moving on. So he stopped me on the way out and said, "Let's have a talk." Stopped and said, "Let's have a talk." These yard people are pissing me off. Anyway, so he asked me, "Why did you not take communion?" And I told him that in order, from what I've been told throughout the course of all my years, in order to partake in communion, you have to have a clean, free, clear heart. And my heart was not free and clear. And he says, "Okay, give me a minute and we'll talk." So he took me into his office and he wanted to know what made my heart not free and not clear. And unbeknownst to me, I was able to do a woosah type of moment. I just regurgitated everything that I felt towards God and why, and the passing of my daughter that brought on these feelings. And this is the first person of God or faith that have ever said to me, I'm going to have a conversation with him and ask him. I'm questioning that as well. So I knew they was going to knock on my door because it was real close to this window over here. So that's why I had to take another break. But anyway, that was the first man of faith that actually said to me, I'm questioning it. Why would he do that? And I was shocked. I was like, oh, you can do that? It's not going to be hell and brimstones and fire and ice and piles of salt if you question God? I was like, oh. And he looked at me with the most puzzled and most confused look on his face that made me even more conflicted. And he said, why do you feel that way? And I told him, I grew up Baptist. And you don't question God. It just is what it is. Whatever it is, it just is what it is. And you deal. You pray. And through the storm, you pray, but you don't question. Through the hurt, you pray, but you don't question. Through the pain, you pray, but you don't question. Through the loss, you pray, but you don't question. That was the beginning of my search for God. or spirituality, however you want to call it. So the first book naturally I pick up is my Holy Bible. That's the first one I pick up because that's the only book. Not that it's the only book that I knew, but that's the book where I got my knowledge and my understanding of God and faith within itself. So I picked it up and I read it from the beginning to the end. And in that book, it clearly told me that you and I can be reading the same passage and I will receive something completely different than what you received. It also told me that because the God that we serve loves us, that he actually wants us to question so that he can show us in abundance the love that he has for us. And that itself was amazing. I never knew that because when you go to church, sure you have Bible study, but that interpretation, when you go to Bible study, you read the book and you ask questions, but ultimately it's the pastor that is giving you the breakdown. It's not really allowing you to have your own breakdown or your own level of understanding. The Bible meets you exactly where you are, and then it elevates you if you allow it. And so, with that understanding, I had a dream that was so profound that it scared me. In this dream, it was the year of 2004. I remember it that specific because it was that profound. In this dream, I'm just in a place and the voice of God said, "What is your problem?" And I legit went from 0 to 1,000,000 talking to God. He said, "Tell me, what is your problem?" And I said it. I cussed, I screamed, I yelled, I cried. I woke up in tears. That's how real and profound that dream was. And the first person I thought about to call was my oldest cousin, who have been saved all of my life. So if anyone can get a prayer to God that can get it past the ceiling, it's her always in my book. So I called her and I said, "What does this dream mean? Like, what does it mean? Why am I having it? What is it about? Help me understand, because I feel like I just cussed and cursed my whole self in its entirety, because who talks to God like that?" But in that dream, I talked to God that way. And she says she has no idea. And we are now in 2019, and I still don't have an idea, and I still don't know why, and she still doesn't know why. So again, remember those 2 days that I told you about? The day you were born, and then the day of your purpose. So one thing I know about God in my experiences is that because he is a father and a parent and a teacher, your purpose is your purpose. It's your divine purpose. No one is here just existing. No one is here just to live and to die. Until you get that purpose and start living that purpose, your lesson will continue. He doesn't move you forward until you learn the lesson. And so the death of my second child, one, taught me or showed me that you are depressed. And hello, bitch, you gotta snap out of it because you legit have things to do. Unlike what you were told you had to do before, i.e., be a mother, be strong. We ain't got time for no crying. We ain't got time for no mourning. You can't lay in the bed all day and boo-hoo. No, ma'am. Get up. Snap out of it. It wasn't that we got things to do. It was you got things to do. Your purpose. I did not make you kind and humble and forever forgiving and passionate for no reason. I didn't have you go through the hurt, the pain, the loss, the suffering for no reason. Figure it out. Hence why I'm here today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not here for no reason. Hope is never lost. Hope is never gone. It's right there in front of you. I need you to find and wake up to your second most important day of your life, which is your purpose. I'm going to go crazy with this flyer. Find it, which is why we're here to help aid and to help guide and to help our lives and our testimonies and our self-experiences and life experiences help, because everybody needs somebody, and sometimes we just don't know who to reach out to. That person does not have to have all the money in the world. That person does not have to have all the knowledge and degrees and education and connections in the world. The only connection that you need is that love and that understanding. So no matter what type of loss you may be going through, whether it be the loss of your child, the loss of a loved one, the loss of dishonor, the loss of respect, the loss of integrity, the loss of self-love and value, don't allow that to be where you stand. We are here to help along that way. The love that each one has within itself is enough to spread throughout our whole community. I'm still growing and learning and understanding and trying to be the better me that I can. And as a whole, the love that I have for my community is my purpose. I have to love all over you. I have to give you all of the love that you feel like you've never had and never experienced. To where, by the grace of God, you do not ever make the same mistakes that I have made, and that you grow into your purpose. So I'm not going to make this video long. I hope the video was helpful and useful. I look forward to your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. I love them all because each one teach one. And your level of understanding and minds doesn't have to be the same for us to meet each other exactly where we are and grow from there. You're right, Infinite. I'm gone. I'll be back. But I love you. keep sharing, keep giving, and keep going. Do not give up. God bless.